Hello and welcome to Crafting with Topps Digital. We're in Bunt today, and if you've been following the news feed, you'll know that there's a new series called The Franchise. And this is going to be following a release schedule by the divisions in Major League Baseball. So it started out with the AL West, and some pretty good cards were dropped yesterday, including King Felix and some pretty powerful sluggers, the signature player Carlos Correa from Houston, and Mike Trout, the former signature player. There's also a nice little award that you can collect for completing the division, and then there's a bigger award at the end if you get all of the franchise cards. We'll go into this series a little in depth a little later. I'm gonna save up some coins and wait till the American League East is released, see what Yankee card is part of this series, and I'll probably go chase that one. And if I can't do that alone in the packs, I'll hit the trade market. So for today, what we're going to do is go back to the recently completed wax wrapper series. So if you saw the last video, we took some of the pencil wax wrappers and converted them into ink. And that was the mid-tier variant of the series. There was also a top-tier variant for the color version. So since that award was paid out, it was a lot easier to get some of these wax wrapper cards. So as you can see here, I completed my ink variants of Don Mattingly. So I now have 2 ink variants, and that should be enough to get us the color variant. So that's what we're going to walk through today in the card exchange. Again, it was a little different this time around, where the card exchange option was extended past the award deadline. That's something we hadn't seen to date in Bunt. So we're going to take advantage of that. Like I said, the people were able to get their awards for either the pencils or the inks, and the cards were tradable, and I was able to just swap some of my loose wax wrappers. I had a couple of Piazzas left over, and Eddie Murray. I was able to flip those for some other Mattingleys. Mattingly was pretty hot for some reason. If you look at the card list, he was on the higher end of the melded cards. Him along with Griffey, those were looked like those were the 2 popular cards in there. I haven't seen it now. I'm sure Piazza crept up there with his Hall of Fame induction looming. He just had a special day at Citi Field where the Mets honored him. So, but enough about that. Let's talk about the other New York team, the New York Yankees. And here we have, weird to say, Marlins manager Don Mattingly, back when he was a New York Yankee first baseman. And so what we did here is we went to the all cards list, and I just did a search on, or we did the card exchange, and we just did a search on Mattingly. So that was easy enough to get him his 2 current available card exchanges. The ink, which we already completed, and in ceremonies prior to this recording, I completed the other 4 pencils and melded them into the second ink variant. So we're going to go ahead and click on the color variant. And time is ticking down, but we still have enough time. We see the required ink card is grayed out because we have both of them. We'll flip here with, we'll see the checklist. It's got check mark 2 out of 2. And we're going to go ahead and hit the exchange. And we're going to shred those inks. So we're going to lose those ink variants. And we're going to have 1 brand new color variant in full color. And as you can see, the card count is 135. I'm not sure if that's up to date. Sometimes there's a little lag on the card count. But it might be accurate because I think the interest in has died down. A lot of people quickly melded the cards in order to have their awards, and once the award was paid out, people gobbled up the cards they were missing and made their higher rarity variants. So I'm pretty happy now. I got my New York Yankees color. It's 135 count, so that is. Oh, you know what? Before we leave, let's do that. So there's no option here. We just this just came out of the card exchange, so we just crafted this. And as you can see here, it did not remember our settings, and we go back to the default by boost view, pet peeve alert. So let's go to my cards, and there's that new category here for card exchange. And what we're going to do, very only because I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to put a lock on them. I have plenty of locks left over. As you can see, I still have 73 after this one. I had previously locked the pencils and the ink variant, so I don't want any silly offers because I'd have to be bowled over pretty heavily in order to trade this card away, along with some of my other Yankee variants. All right, so if you have some time, I think there's a few hours left to use the card exchange for these wax wrappers. And if there's a particular card that you are chasing, like I said, they should be pretty accessible now that the award has already been paid out. So that should close the chapter on wax wrappers. And like I said, I'm going to save up some coins, and we'll come back and revisit that franchise and see what we can craft there. There's a similar fashion, 3 tiers of variants, and we'll go over those in the next video. Hope to see you next time.